Now to a story that may make you rethink immigrants and what they're capable of.
Story of perseverance, defeat, and the incredible value of a mentor and some luck. What can happen if you never give up on your dreams?
Of the many twists and turns the road of life can take, the path that Betty Contreras found herself on was full of dead ends.
The main thing that I was supposed to do coming to the States is to go to school. I wanted to learn the language. I wanted to be able to help my siblings come to the States.
At just 11 years old, Betty was smuggled into the U.S. by coyotes. She had plans to live with her brother and his wife.
Started abusing me mentally, physically abusing me, up to a point where I needed to sleep in a closet. Tiny, tiny little closet.
That was your punishment.
Betty had come all this way, survived the brutal journey from Chihuahua, Mexico. But that better life that she dreamed of was held up by an abusive sister-in-law.
When did you get out of the house? And what happened?
So now that I remember, before when I used to talk about it, I used to cry because it was hard, just to go back to that moment.
Things got so bad that one night, Betty ran away, begging friends and friends of friends if she could stay with them.
I don't even know how many houses I lived in. Maybe 6, 7 houses, just from meeting people. Can I stay here? I'll do the dishes, I'll take care of your grandma, I'll clean the house, I'll do the laundry, whatever you want me to do. You don't have to pay me as long as I have a place where I need to sleep and eat.
Be safe at night.
Yeah.
And that's how it went for the next 6 or 7 years, until Betty found a job here at Yoshi's Japanese restaurant, where this road she was on would take another sudden turn.
I worked there for almost 2 years. And then Dr. Schneider went through the drive-thru with another assistant who used to work here.
And just the way she took our order, and I was looking for someone out front who could be personable with the patients and everything like that, and who spoke Spanish. So the way she took our order, I had no idea what she said, but I drove her onto the front and I said, go in and ask her if she wants to work in dental.
In my head, I'm like, this is it. This is the chance you need because you're looking for another job, but never in a million years, ever thought that I was gonna be an assistant, right? I thought, oh, maybe I'm gonna be the janitor, working at nights, cleaning the operatories.
Betty would never have to touch a mop. Dr. Snyder, who at the time was the medical director for St. Vincent de Paul's free dental clinic, knew Betty had much more to offer. But first, he wanted her to apply for citizenship.
He just knew that I was scared to be on the streets driving with no license and all that. And he's like, you have to do it the right way. So I started the whole process.
That's when maybe the biggest roadblock of all would come slamming down.
And then you encouraged her, she said, to do things the right way.
Yeah.
So she applies to the immigration office and she's deported.
Betty was already married and had 2 kids, but found herself, along with other illegal immigrants, on a bus headed for Juarez, Mexico.
I mean, I felt so bad. I thought, why did I ever tell her to go back, and it bothered me for quite a while.
And I can't imagine a mother being separated from her husband and her child.
Yeah.
How incredibly hard was that?
Oh, it was hard. I think when I read the paper, the first thing came to my mind, it was my son. Because he was gonna start kindergarten. And I was just thinking, I'm not gonna be able to be there for him.
But 2 long years later, she was granted asylum, became a citizen, and went back to her job at the dental clinic, somehow finding a way to balance all of that with taking classes at ASU. And then one day, the phone rang.
Good morning, how are you doing?
Good.
At age 42, Betty Contreras, against all odds, had been accepted to dental school in Chicago.
Dentistry, becoming a dentist journey gonna begin.
I cried. I cried a lot. I cried all weekend because they called me on Friday. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I was crying. I was just crying. I didn't tell all the family just the closest friends, but we all cried. We were just crying. It was,
Tears of joy, though.
oh yeah, for sure, yeah. The chair is over here, Dr. Snyder.
And for Dr. Ken Snyder, her mentor, and maybe the father she never had, one last way for him to give back.
You know, I'm not going to be here forever, and I mean at the clinic. hopefully I'll be here a little bit longer.
Doc?
Yeah, but I think the best gift I could give back is to provide someone who then can take my place and make it happen for many years to come. And I'm really proud of that.
And Mark's here now. What a story.
Isn't, you know, sometimes you luck into a story where you can really, it's an incredible journey. And, you know, we all love telling these stories of these people that are able to triumph over adversity. And I think for her coming here just to want a better life, to get settled, make some money, be able to bring her siblings over from Chihuahua, Mexico. And she hit roadblock after roadblock. The abusive sister-in-law couldn't speak a word of English. In fact, when Dr. Snyder went through Yoshi's, the only thing she could say in English was, "Have a rice day," which is what they're supposed to say.
Right.
So when she was deported, she went back and took classes to learn English in Juarez, and she was in her 30s, and the whole classroom was full of 8 and 10-year-olds.
Wow.
And they couldn't figure out why this older woman was in the class with them, but she made the most of her 2-year being deported, came back, was able to go to ASU, and quickly caught up, and here she is, headed for dental school.
I mean, the drive she had, because, you know, she comes across, she's slowly kind of getting better and better.
Yeah.
Then wants to do the right thing. Next thing you know, she ends up deported, but still kept that drive.
Right, kept that drive, came back, persevered, and most of that time was married and had 2 children. Wow. So she's trying to balance being a wife, a mother, take English classes, take the core classes that she needs to be able to take the dental boards. She's a smart, hardworking woman, and maybe just the perfect person came along in Dr. Snyder to mentor her and guide her. And it's, you know, we've all been lucky enough to have mentors in our lives, and he's a great example.
And now this fall, she's headed off to dental school.
Heading off to dental school, and if you go to the article on 12news.com, there's a site, because dental school is so expensive, where they've set up a GoFundMe to help her pay for her tuition.
Right.
She's going to be separated from her family for 4 years. They're going to stay here because her husband has a good job, her kids are in school. So she's going to go, and she'll come home when she can, and they'll come up and visit her. But basically, she's just going to put her nose down and grind her way through the next 4 years.
Oh, I love it. And thanks for the backstory, Mark.
Yeah, thank you.
Very good. All right, Tram.
Yeah, grind like she's been grinding all these years. Love her tenacity. Great story. All right, well, meteorologist